Officials believe a Peterborough mosque was deliberately set on fire last night. Firefighters responded to a call at the Masjid Al-Salam Mosque on Park Hill Road just after 11. The initial investigation shows signs of arson. Well, this afternoon, Peterborough police tweeted that they condemned the attacks on innocent people and their place of worship. They say they will not release any more details of the investigation as it is now in the hands of the Ontario Fire Marshal's office. They are asking for anyone with any information on last night's events to call police or contact Crime Stoppers.
Not just me, the whole community feel very sad and very upset. Because we never expected this would happen here in Peterborough. We have had a very great relationship with the community.
Peterborough's mayor reacted to the fire on Twitter this evening. Daryl Bennett wrote, "If this is found to be a hate crime, it in no way represents the feelings of our community. Attacking a place of worship is a despicable act. Masjid Al-Salam, the name of the mosque, means Mosque of Peace." He went on to say, "I look forward to the reopening of the Masjid Al-Salam."
In the Kawartans area, we have about 1,000 Muslims, and this is the only mosque available for them to pray. We are trying not to jump into conclusions, but the timing and the fact that it's deliberate and it was just arson, it's hard to rule out that possibility, and we are encouraged by the fact that the police also is not ruling out that possibility, and they are investigating it as a possible hate crime.
This is very difficult for us. Why? Because we congregate 5 times per day, and you understand this is where we develop spiritual strength. At the end of the day, we come and we congregate, and this is what gives us strength to move forward. This is taken away from us, but we have to live with it, and we are patient, and we hope that soon it's going to come back.
Islam is the religion of peace. That's what we understand in this community. We have had a very positive relationship with the community. We have open houses to raise awareness about these issues, and we are hoping even this incident will be one way to will show that this type of intolerance is not part of Canada or Canadian people.
I felt that, these people haven't done anything wrong, so they're trying to make a better life here in Canada, so let's help them out. People are down and they need help, then let's help them. That's what Canada's supposed to be all about.
This community, I've lived here for 8 years. I've known this community. The people are loving, they're caring. It's just a good community, and this doesn't represent Peterborough. This is just some, isolated incidents, and we have to. This should not change our perception of this community.
The name of the mosque is As-Salam Mosque, which means the Mosque of Peace. It's kind of a second home to me. It's like my family.
Part of Taiba Akhtar lives inside this mosque. And so the arson attack felt like an attack on her.
It's like killing someone, killing your feelings and your heart. Somebody has stabbed in your heart. It was like that. Since then, till now, I didn't sleep well at night. I was so anxious. I was so worried about it. It breaks my heart to see it says, "Do not enter." How this happened, this is not the place that this should take place.
What is it that you're worried about that makes you not able to sleep?
I don't know if my kids are going to go to the mosque, and I don't want something like that to happen again. I'm worried about their security when they're being there.
Every weekend, Akhtar's kids spend hours at the mosque learning about their faith, something she herself has recently become more serious about.
3-4 months ago, I've started to wear hijab. I was not wearing hijab before that, because I started studying Islam and I wanted to do this. But I was skeptical that how would people look at me, when I would talk to them. They would look at, oh, she's a Muslim. Oh, she's, from terrorist. But people have shown so much of respect and love, and I feel more comfortable living in my own skin, my own hijab, my own coverings in Canada, in Peterborough.
And so, Akhtar says the arson attack doesn't reflect her hometown. What does that? Is that more than $100,000 has already been raised to repair the mosque.
The hatred has actually brought us more closer to each other. We are not anymore Muslims or Catholics, or We don't belong to different countries, different backgrounds. We belong to one. This is what Canadians and everybody else has proved.
What would you say to the people who did this to your mosque?
I would say that whoever did that, he brought us more closer as a community, as a Canadian, and we are not breaking. There's nothing that's gonna break us apart.
Nick Purden, CBC News, Peterborough, Ontario.
Fundraiser to help repair the Peterborough Mosque that police say was deliberately set on fire Saturday has raised over $54,000 in donations in just a few days. The outside of the Kawartha Muslim Religious Association's mosque is virtually unscathed. However, the Peterborough Police Service estimates damage to the interior of the building, the city's only mosque, to be about $80,000. Dwayne Roussel, a Peterborough resident, immediately started a fundraising page on Sunday to help the Muslim community rebuild their place of prayer. In the campaign description, he writes, quote, "We encourage members of the community of all or no faiths to help the Muslim community restore their place of worship." The police have yet to find a suspect or motive. The provincial fire marshal ruled Sunday the fire was deliberately set. The mayor of Peterborough, Daryl Bennett, released a statement about the fire. Quote, "If this is found to be a hate crime, it in no way represents the feeling of our community. Attacking a place of worship is a despicable act." This isn't the first time the Peterborough Mosque was attacked. In 2001, the building's windows were smashed by vandals after the 9/11 attacks. To contribute to the fundraising efforts, you can visit fundraiser.com.
It's the first time Al Salam members will meet indoors to pray since the mosque was deliberately set on fire last weekend in the wake of Friday night's terrorist attacks in Paris. Mark Street United Church has opened its doors to mosque members for prayers on Friday.
Really highly touched and very thankful to everybody for their generosity and their understanding, their solidarity, their support.
And consulate generals representing France, Turkey, and Pakistan will be there to participate. Abdullah says the dignitaries will also meet with Police Chief Murray Rod and Mayor Daryl Bennett to thank them for their support.
It just shows that we have, further support, and they're coming here to, of course, show their solidarity with the people of Peterborough.
Abdullah says the community has rallied around members of the mosque since the fire, which police have labeled a hate crime. An online fundraiser surpassed an initial goal of $80,000 to more than $110,000 before the campaign was halted. And members of the public have reached out, offering their condolences.
Everybody in the community is taken by surprise by how much support there is within Peterborough and fellow Canadians across the country. Just in general, we have gotten support all the way from Vancouver.
Friends of the mosque are inviting the public to stand outside Mark Street United Church in East City and pray as members of the mosque enter.
Honestly, me personally, I'm speechless when I see some of the email I receive. They are so personal, so touching, and we are very thankful for the people of Peterborough.
Prayers begin on Friday at 1:30. Lindsay Biscaya, Checks News Watch, Peterborough.
Muslims pray 5 times a day, and Fridays are dedicated to bringing the entire community together for Jummah. But this Friday, things looked a little different. The Masjid Al-Salam congregation filled the hall at Mark Street United Church. This was the first service held away from their mosque, and the first one since the fire forced the mosque to close its doors. Several dignitaries took in the service where Imam Shazim Khan thanked the community for its support.
When we have an act of criminal act in our community, it we move away from and we will move on from, but as far as the community, we will grow from this.
News of the fire made international headlines, and outside the church, supporters gathered to stand in solidarity with the congregation and let them know this act of hate isn't a reflection of the city.
Because I don't think this incident represents our city. Our city is wonderfully multicultural, and to have this happen, it just made me really sad.
Dignitaries, including consul generals from Pakistan, France, and Turkey, were on hand and took a tour of the mosque to see the damage firsthand.
And this is our strength, and this again comes to the same point that what we could see here in Peterborough, we wish that it could be seen all over the world, that this small town of Peterborough has done, the world needs to follow that example.
The construction work at the mosque has begun and is expected to be complete by mid-December. Jesse Thomas, Checks Newswatch, Peterborough. Solidarity, the Beth Israel Synagogue opened its doors to the congregation of Peterborough's only mosque in wake of the arson attempt that scorched the Masjid al-Salam. The Muslims, left without a place to pray, were welcomed immediately into the synagogue.
There's so much bad press between Muslim and Jews in the first place. And, we hope for a better world. We hope for a world of peace. And, in Canada, we're neighbors. And it just feels good to be able to reach out and help a friend and a neighbor.
The fire caused $80,000 damage to the mosque, which is currently under construction. They're expected to be complete by mid-December. Friday's gathering marked the second Juma prayer service held outside the mosque.
We thank the Jewish community to give us this offer to help break down the barriers, and this is a show of strength for the community, I believe.
The Muslim Association were honored to be guests today, and as much as the two religions are different, the leaders wanted to instead focus on the similarities.
We're not focusing on the religion aspect. This is a community cooperation, but even from religious point of view, to be in a house of where people worship, a house of God, essentially, people where they get spiritual guidance. Because of that, the feeling is very special to be here today.
It was a show of unity today as both leaders from the Al-Salam Mosque and Synagogue are hopeful this gathering will foster a greater relationship. Both congregations gathered Friday evening to break bread and share a special dinner hosted by the synagogue. Jesse Thomas, Checks Newswatch, Peterborough.
The people have spoken. People of Peterborough said, you can't divide us, you can't create division between the people of Peterborough or our community.
And just over 1 month since this mosque was set on fire, it is now ready for its members to return to the place they know.
It's the day we are coming back home in a way.
The first prayer in the rebuilt mosque will begin at 3 p.m. Wednesday.
We are quite impressed that it was completed within such a short time. We're expected maybe it will go to the next year.
Because of smoke damage from the fire, everything inside the mosque, from floor to ceiling, needed to be replaced.
Okay, so the main fire was here actually, so all these shelves were burned, but we have put everything back now.
Abdullah says he owes a lot to all the volunteers who came together to help rebuild the mosque. In the meantime, evening prayers have been held in a house not far from the mosque.
And we were homeless for about 1 month, and we were going at different places. Although we felt very good meeting people during this time, but then it was a feeling of being homeless, and it's sort of homecoming.
After the 3 o'clock prayers, mosque members are welcoming people to stay and see how it was rebuilt. To this day, police have not made an arrest in the arson case, and a new security system has been installed.
You can see your car probably from outside. We have a security system. The whole.
An official open house will be held on January 17th. Abdullah says everyone is welcome. Lindsay Biscaya, Checks Newswatch, Peterborough. It was the first time in 6 weeks that mosque members were able to pray in their own sanctuary again. And for many, it was like coming home after a long day.
I'm really happy to be back, really excited. It's been a pretty long time.
With 5 prayers a day, members had to go somewhere else while renovations were done. And many say they're grateful for the support from the community.
They've been very supportive, so it was really nice praying in the churches and the synagogues, but it's nice to be home.
The men pray in the upstairs room. The women pray downstairs with a screen showing the upstairs prayer. President of the Kawartha Muslim Religious Association, Kenzu Abdullah, says there was a big turnout for the first prayer.
The regular prayers, normally there isn't that many people. The main prayer is on Friday. But as you can see even today, even though it's a 3 o'clock, a work day, people just took time off to come to pray, and there will be more coming, so we are very happy with the time.
An official open house for the mosque will be held on January 17th. Lindsay Biscaya, Checks Newswatch, Peterborough.
Association. I would like to thank the Greater Peterborough community for the heartfelt support they provided to us through the crowdfunding campaign for the restoration of the Masjid al-Salam. after the fire that occurred on November 14, 2015. While the tragedy of this hate crime has shocked and saddened our Muslim community, we are highly encouraged and overwhelmed by the outpouring support that the people of Peterborough and fellow Canadians across the country have provided to us at the time of great need for our community. Kmra's insurance will cover most of the restoration that crowdfunding donation was intended to cover. We propose to utilize the surplus funds to create a fund at the Community Foundation of Greater Peterborough, a charity that inspires giving to build a vital community for everyone. An open house has been planned for January 17, 2016, at which time further details of the grants to the two charities will be announced. Once again, we would like to thank everyone for their immediate and heartfelt response to our crisis in this difficult time. Thank you. Now I'll call upon Betty Morris, the chair of the Community Foundation, to say a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Abdullah, and good morning, everyone. The Community Foundation of Greater Peterborough, Executive Director John Good, staff and board, we were profoundly moved to receive your call days after the terrible event at the mosque. That you were already thinking about how a legacy of good might come of this was remarkable, considering that you were dealing with the police and the insurance adjusters and the fire department and the media, all the while caring for the membership of the mosque that I'm sure were traumatized by the fire. As you said in your remarks, the Community Foundation of Greater Peterborough inspires giving to build a vital community for everyone. And we're committed to supporting actions in our community that build inclusion so that everyone can feel like they belong. We look forward to working with you to create a fund that will help to meet some very important needs of women and children in our community, primarily through the two organizations whose executive directors are sitting beside me here. So thank you very much.
Now I'll call upon Lynn Zimmer, the Executive Director of UWCA Peterborough, Halliburton, on behalf.
Thank you. And I want to extend my greetings and appreciation to all the members of Kmra who've been part of this initiative. I'm so aware that virtually every member of this community has been left feeling very vulnerable and under attack when the fire happened. And the fact that you are choosing to respond to the community by helping to create something so positive for others who are vulnerable and afraid is very touching, and it's very important to our ability to continue to protect women and children in our community. Last year we provided 8,000 safe sleeps for people who weren't used to sleeping safely and unafraid. And so thank you for identifying with that and being so generous.
Now I call the Dave Adams, Executive Director of 5 Counties Center Foundation.
Thank you, Dr. Abdullah. 5 Counties Children's Center is thrilled to be a part of this momentous occasion. When we started these discussions, it really touched us deeply. We serve more than 5,000 children every year, and however, more than 350 of those children count 100% on community donations to continue with their therapy. And so the funds that are going to come to 5 counties will help us to continue with therapy for those children. Unfortunately, we still have a waiting list of more than 850, so we're hoping that maybe some of those kids as well can come in and get their therapy sooner, thanks to the generosity of your organization. Moving forward, we look at the long term, and I think it's wonderful to work with the Community Foundation in terms of an endowment fund, and the funds that would come to us today help immediately, and those funds will look after the generations to come who come to 5 counties. So on behalf of everyone who receives services at 5 Counties Children's Center, thank you very, very much.